So give me a little update. Like, what's the last year been like? And then maybe specifically after that, like the last couple of months. I know it's probably a stressful time with the roster and all of that. So how has the last year and couple months been for you?
Yeah. Well, as you know, we all went into the quarantine in like March. So we were pretty much remote based from March to August. In August, we started training again, but we were in like small groups. So we were in like 3 small groups of about 7. And that went on for at least 4 to 6 weeks. And then we started like making then just 2 groups. So yeah, it's been a lot of integrating and getting back with people that you're used to always playing with. So there was a little bit of separation, but we've been one big group since about maybe October, I want to say October, November. So ever since then we've been training all together. We had a couple of tours. We went to Madrid in February, and we went to Dubai in March/April, and just the past weekend we played in LA. And so yeah, we've had a few competition points, not near as much as what we normally would have, but we're definitely thankful to have gotten those opportunities for sure. And then leading up to selections and whatnot, of course it's a stressful time, but our staff is very transparent with us, and we had a few practice games against Brazil. They were here, and then after that we named our squad. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind, with all the protocols, but it's going well, and we're excited to leave in like 12 days now, so 13 days.
That's awesome. And I'm guessing this opportunity is something that, you cherish the second time. Obviously, the first time, it's all great. It's all new. How does that perspective change this second time when you know what it's like to go to a games?
Yeah. Well, I got this question like my last interview, and I was like, I don't even know if going twice has a benefit right now because of how different the games are going to be. Like I would say going into 2016, it was like, okay, it's the same 12 teams, like it's just another tournament. Like you got to kind of think, you have to get in that mindset a little bit and not put so much weight on it. But this one is just like, wow, we haven't seen those teams in over a year. Like how much have they changed? We've changed, so there's a lot of like just questions about the competition, but I think that's where we take this time to really focus on us and what we're good at and get better at things that we know that we dominate in. So yeah, I mean, just thinking with that mindset instead of being scared of the unknown, I guess.
Right. And you have a brand new roster essentially, right? Just a couple of your old team back from 2016. How have you helped be a leader in that and try and get some cohesiveness with everything you said? You're trying to do it all with COVID and a year delay to begin with from last year.
Yeah. I mean, our roster changed pretty quickly after the 2016 Olympics. So we've had this squad together for a good solid 2 years, and 3 years now, basically, since the COVID extension. So, I mean, it's only created more chemistry for us. And I can't say that, initially you're like, dang, the Olympics aren't going to happen like right now. But then you try and flip it and be like, okay, but like we get a whole nother year to like play this sport and perfect other things and get to practice and be with each other. And so it's just been a nice extension, especially, coming from a player that, this might be the last thing that I do for USA Rugby, potentially looking at retiring. So yeah, it's definitely, I have tried to cherish every moment and be as present as I can be.
Has the disappointment of last year gone away enough to where it's exciting now? Has it matched that same kind of energy? Because I'm sure it was crushing last year to know that you couldn't go. Is it just as exciting now knowing you're only a couple of weeks out?
For sure. I wouldn't say I was one of the girls that was completely crushed, just because I was like, well, I mean, instead of going into the unknown of the real world and being a civilian, I get to do this more. So I was actually kind of trying to look at it from that perspective of being more like excited about what this next year is going to bring, and how much better can the team get, to focus on skills and break things down even more technically, and try new things and stuff like that. So yeah, but now that it's coming around, it is still equally as exciting as it was going to be in 2020, or even compared to 2016. It's just like, it's the holy grail. It's what we train for.
How much of that perspective is that for you, in a sense that you think this might be your last competition with USA Rugby, and that you're going to try and go out on the world's biggest stage?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I always try and stay as present as I can, because when you think about, oh, what are you going to be doing in October, it's like, and you just kind of like freak out a little bit. So I just take it literally day by day, session by session, the game by game, and try and just be super in the moment, and just focusing on what I can do right now, instead of what's going to happen to me in 3-4 months down the road.
When you tell people you're from Macon County, and they probably say where, Decatur, but then specifically, so I'm from a really small town outside of that in Booty. What do people say when you tell them that?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I used to be like, oh, I'm from Decatur. But now I've just been like, yeah, no, it's not, I'm not from Decatur. I'm from Booty. So yeah, I just, hit the nail on the head with it. I just charge in with it, and they're like, what did you say? And I'm like, you heard me. That is true. You can look it up. It's a real place. But yeah, it's pretty funny.
What's the weirdest response you've gotten from that, Lauren?
Usually just a blank stare. Like, that can't be what you just said. Like, wait, how do you spell it? That's what I usually get. Like, with a T? No, with a D. So yeah.
But with that being said, I'm going to assume that because of that uniqueness, you have a unique story from small town America, representing Team USA in a sport that you probably didn't even imagine you were going to play, right? If I would have told you this at 16 years old, what would you have said?
Yeah. No, I found rugby very late in life. I would say at the age of 16, I had no idea what it was. So yeah, I just kind of went out on a limb there and was like, well, I want to go to Eastern Illinois, and I do not want to run tracks. So this is what I've been offered, and I'm going to give it a go. Yeah, so that's a different path than most people, but my parents were not that excited about it, just because, when you YouTube rugby, it's the world's biggest hits and like things like that aren't really what rugby is about necessarily. So yeah, but we have definitely embraced the path, and I am so blessed and thankful that it has led me to where it is today. I had never even left the country before I joined this team. I had to get my passport in order to get on the team. So yeah, it's just been a great experience, and I'm so happy that I've been able to stay in the program for so long.
And I know you're going to have a whole following of people in your hometown and in all of Central Illinois, Eastern Illinois community. What do you want them to know about you representing them and yourself, on that Olympic stage?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I represent small town Illinois, and just to all the younger generation, the little girls that watch it, just know that it doesn't matter how small your town is, where you came from. Opportunities come, and you have to grab them. So and I truly appreciate all the support, the messages, everything that I received from the community is really great, and it's definitely felt.
Anything else you want to add, Lauren?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for a couple of minutes. Best of luck to you. Be well in your travels and in your play as well. I hope you get to enjoy every single moment of it. And like you said, it might be a little bit different this year. It's going to be a lot different this year.
For sure.
Have they told you like those specific? I mean, you're used to, athlete village and all that, right? What are those things
Right.
going to look like? Do you even know?
Yeah, so well, I do know. So we have to leave so early for the games because we have to essentially quarantine for 2 weeks. We're going to a different base camp area called Namasaka, and then like I'm not even sure about the logistics of it, but we go to the village, and like last time team processing was in Houston, and this time it's just going to be at the village, and they're basically going to be like, here's your medium-sized bag. See ya. So, just a little bit different experience from last time where we got to try on every single piece of clothing that they're going to give us and stuff like that. This is like no exchanges. Like this is what you get and that's it. But it's still going to be a cool experience, and I'm sure they'll make it special in its own way. I also know that we get COVID tested every single day. We're under extremely strict protocol. Like there's absolutely no chance that you're not wearing a mask. And that goes, if you're playing on the field and you get subbed out, you're putting a mask on, to and from the warm-up pitch, we're wearing masks. So, and I know those protocols are going to be pretty strictly followed through. So it's definitely going to be different.
A different experience, but I'm so happy you get the chance to play and hopefully go out in a big way. Thank you, Lauren.
Absolutely.
Be well. All right.
Thank you so much. All right. Bye-bye.